Hello and welcome to the Mix Air Rap Podcast. I'm your host, DJ B Wise. This is a podcast where we talk about hip hop from boom bap to trap. We're back at it again, people. We're coming at you tonight with my main man, Kev. You know how he does it. He is our underground historian, underground legend. Kev, tell him how you feel.
Very good today. Just waiting, to get this show going so we can get the people what they want.
All right, that's what's up, bro. Appreciate it. So we're gonna jump into it with our first topic, and that is stream or no stream of J. Cole's project. Might delete later. I'm gonna let the resident hater start this one out. Kev, your thoughts on J. Cole's
uh,
new project?
I can't be a hater today. Me and one of our former co-hosts, DJ Reaper, we were kind of going back and forth the other day, and he was shocked by my rating. Um, and I still stand by my rating. And I told him right now I would go 4.5 out of 5. I give myself a week. It might change, but right now it's a strong 4.5 out of 5. If anybody wants to tell me I'm buying into the hype, I bought it. I'm broke. I cashed out on it. All sold out on the hype. Um, this is the best thing in rap right now. Um, I think the hype is real. Just like when we did the Kendrick verse, I said that if you do a verse, an album has to follow. Something has to follow. Kendrick hasn't done nothing yet, but he gave J. Cole time to answer. So next move Kendrick, or because right now, it's J. Cole didn't one up you, he 10 upped you. You know what I mean? It's just he's 10 steps ahead of you right now, so you got to catch up. So I'm all in.
Exactly. That's what's up. Appreciate that, Kev. I wanted to speak on just one thing from you. Uh because I'm the only one I'm on the fence about is Ready 24 with Cameron. I
Right.
thought Cameron did a decent job. I just don't know if I don't know if that space, if he fit that space. That's all. What are your thoughts on that particular track?
Um, I want to say they did something before, but I really can't remember off the top of my head. I don't have a problem with it. Um, I actually think Cameron could be known as a person who raps off beat, but I think he was ready. I think he flowed with the beat on this one. Um, I don't have a problem with what he said or what he was talking about. I actually think it was a pleasant surprise that they were actually, he did something with him on this, and Cole released it. So, um, I'm surprised by all the features, but I thought this was good though. I thought this was good.
All right. I appreciate that as well. For me, again, yeah, he was off beat a little bit and it kept frustrating me because Jay blew it up. Let me just say
Right.
that he blew up the spot on that track, and then when Cam came in, the beat was right, but he was just off of it. So that's all.
Not the whole song. I mean, like parts, just certain parts, yeah. But overall, he was on beat for majority of his verse. And I understand what you're saying, because that is something that I normally pay attention to, because like I said, Cameron does seem off at times, but I think most of his verse he was there. So yeah, like I said, I ain't got a problem with it at all.
All right, next I'd like to talk about my favorite track on the album, and that was Pie featuring Ab Soul and uh Daylight. Man, that track was crazy. I was like, dog, this is some of the he hit his stride on this one, man. I mean, I think Cole is in his he yeah. I can't that particular track left me speechless. His wordplay, his double entendres, he rode the beat well. One thing we always have said about Cole, he can have some trash beats. I thought that this he minimized it as much as he could on this particular uh, project. I think he did minimize it, So I'm gonna give him that he minimized it. And again, Pie Man, it was a strong piece of work. I can't say it enough. Thank him for this. This is what makes me able to keep doing this. If it wasn't for if it wasn't for our top three, even though they want to beef with each other, I would probably be out of the game as far as hip hop today. But these guys keep me going. What was your favorite track, Kev, from the album?
Yeah, pie. I gotta agree with that. That first verse with Daylight and Ab Soul just kind of go back and forth with each other. It's I and it was funny because I just had a conversation with my wife about albums that you listen to that you really enjoy. What artists ever release studio sessions? You know what I mean? And I would love to see the studio session of some of the songs on this album, and Pie is one of them. It is it's I don't know. It's just like that first verse was so good. It was just like who came up with the concept behind it? How did they write it? Um, it was that good back and forth energy, and it was just like so on time. When one person ended, then the other person just like flowed right into it. Yeah, that's I think that's the best song on the album. Um, Nothing against Cole because it is a collaboration, but uh, you had two. Daylight is an underrated lyricist. Um, if anybody's out there familiar with battle rap, then they probably know Daylight and some of what is he known for. And Absol, I think Kendrick and to a certain extent Schoolboy Q kind of overshadow Absol because of that black hippie thing that they're in. So it's you had two good lyricists that could match J. Cole's power, and it was a verse J. Cole had on the album where he said, no one killed him on a feature. This might be the first one that it's a debatable about who had the best verse. Did somebody had a better verse, or did it might come up that these two people had to have a better verse than Cole, but I don't know. It's tough to say who verse was better on this one.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Kev. Man, I respect the art of one upping each other on the track. Why wouldn't
Right,
you? That
right,
that's what you're supposed to do.
right.
So I was just encouraged by this. I was elated by this. This was just it was everything, man. I think you said it best last is that he's after this last feature he did, he's in the pocket right now. I think in the next 2 to 3 years, he's gonna get his biggest number one hits. He's gonna start getting those accolades that has escaped him over these last few years with Drake and with Kendrick. Some of those accolades that they've gotten now it's just due time for J. Cole, and hopefully this competition will keep him in the mix longer. I just, I'm just super excited. But now we got to jump into the elephant in the room. And we know what the elephant in the room is the diss. So we're getting ready to switch over to our talking hip hop. And talking hip hop starts off with 7 minute drill. And I'm just going to say, I think that what he did was artful. It was artistry because he did it in a way that because most of the diss that Kendrick did wasn't about Cole. Most of it was about Drake. So I thought how he presented this, right? made it in a way where it was palatable for Kendrick fans or Kendrick stands to still say, you know what, this is just a good piece of work. I'm not gonna hate on him just because he dissed Kendrick. He did it in a way that was very artful, and uh, but he stuck it out there. I thought the first half of the project of that particular track was brilliant. I think the only thing I question on that, why it's not my favorite one, I question on the second half of the track when he switched to beat, how fierce. Now his double entendres in that second part were on point, but I just didn't know how fierce. It seemed like he kind of slacked up in that second half where he was going at your neck in the first half. He didn't seem like he was going at your neck in the second half. So I'm gonna slide it over to Kevin, see what his thoughts are on that. Again, just for me, I thought the second half could have been a little better. Kev?
Um, uh, I liked it, but I think that I don't think that this was the only diss per se. Um, I think the I think the majority of the songs on this uh will, you could be considered as a diss. It was full of subliminals. It was even like the first two songs had a bunch of subliminals to me in it. So I feel like he was kind of setting you up for that for that 7 minute drill. Um Honestly, I wish I wouldn't have saw none of the reviews or any posts that people put up about it, because um I almost wanted to go there to the last song first, but I, it I mean I was listening for diss or subliminals throughout, and that's why I had to listen to it 3 times to get to that point that I could just listen to it front to back, just anticipate music and not listening for him to say something. So that first listen, I heard a bunch of subliminals, and I don't feel like I think you could pick damn near any, most of the songs on here had some sort of subliminal, I guess, directed towards Kendrick mainly, but maybe a few others, because normally with J. Cole, this is his thing, to build up hype towards what album he's about to come out with. He'll drop a so-called diss record or diss song towards someone. um Sometimes we know who he's talking about or guess who he's talking about, and other times we don't know. Like the what's the one he did a few years back where he had the video, he's on the back of the bus rapping. That was
Yeah.
towards one of the little somebodies. I don't know. I don't even think that guy even rap anymore. And but yeah, I mean, J. Cole does this. Kendrick does this too. But Cole does it. But the difference between Cole and Kendrick is, I think that um J. Cole is more active and J. Cole is more ready to go. So Kendrick doing this, it means it, like I said, it don't mean nothing if it don't follow up with something with five or more songs on it, which he hasn't done yet. Cole's response was, boom, I'm gonna give you my reply back to you. Plus, I'm gonna give you a whole bunch of other songs, and you might mess around catch him. I mean, he just had his what you call him this weekend? His Dream Fest or whatever he
Yeah.
has this weekend.
Yep.
So he's gonna pop back up on tour with Drake, but then everything, his little festival he has every year, um, that just keeps his buzz going. So it's he's getting close to J. Cole right now is on the level. He's on Drake's level. Like if Drake's competition right now is J. Cole and Nicki Minaj. That's it. No one else is a Drake challenger. Not to say I think that Drake is the best rapper out there, but I mean best lyricist. Now we can discuss rapping or MCing, which is a totally different thing, but Drake is no, Drake should be considered number one as far as radio hits, sellout shows, um, and charting on the Billboard. I think I saw something the other day that said Scorpion was still on the Billboard charts, and it's been like what 4 or 5 years. It's still in the top 200 since the album came out. So Drake is obviously number one, but yeah, Nicki Minaj and J. Cole are like his only competition. Nothing against Kendrick, but that's his. Kendrick is below them. Kendrick is way he's below those three. But I think it was effective. It was very effective. Um, and if anybody on that song felt like he said something towards them, that he didn't save the whole song for Kendrick, I think you're probably right.
I'm with
Yeah,
you on that one.
yeah.
Hey man, what can I say? I think that we're in a space where somebody's going to have to step up and do more. If you're going to call yourself, the man, then you got to put out more work. I'm saying the same thing for Rhapsody as well. She can't be out here talking about how slick she is with it and then not putting out work. So my call is for all of these amazing rappers, right, to put in work, to put out some work. Let's put out some work. Let's get it in. You know, I'm putting it out because I think if you put out more work, this is gonna make what Drake puts out next even better. Might delete it later. Isn't even the off season. So imagine what's going to happen after that because he still might drop that later this year. I would love it if he did because he does need to put out more projects in order to maintain.
Like I said, when I first came on the show, I said me and Reaper we was talking, and it made me go back. It made me look at J. Cole's catalog where J. Cole's been consistent. If you take J. Cole as a solo artist and the Dreamville projects, for at least I want to say maybe within the past 10 years, he's had something every year. Either it was a J. Cole solo or Dreamville collaboration album. So for at least 10 years strong, you take just those two on the Dreamville label, and then you throw in random collaborations with other artists. Like he's been consistent. So I don't think his consistency is a problem. Um, for me, the problem is the hype or the build up to the album. So it's like
Mhm.
you can't have you have Thank Me Later, and is a very aggressive album. Um, I don't. Radio hits. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But radio's dying, so Spotify's the thing. Outside of 7 Minute Drill, are you going to have another streamable song on here? You know what I'm saying? So many people are rushing towards that 7 minute drill. They're gonna run the numbers up on that though, but like you said, the Cameron song, is that going to hit? Is that going to even come within 10 million listens of 7 minute drill? Probably not. Even Pie or the Ari Lennox song or what's the guy Bass, which I love that song too, and I think that could be a good radio hit, but I don't think any of these other none of the other songs are going to come close to the 7 minute drill as far as what's streamed out there. So you have that, right? But then when you
Mhm.
drop your album is going to be totally different, a totally different zone from this album here. And I think that it's this weird thing where in the 90s when mixtapes started to become big, mixtapes was used as uh a promotion for your album. And some artists, it just felt like the mixtape was leftover songs from the album. You know what I mean? and it like their mixtape and their album kind of like flow together, you know. So it's like the first song on your album could have came after the last song on your mixtape in a lot of cases from the 90s. So, and I think that's what I be looking for when J. Cole does this, when he drops these, these 3, 4 songs, or he drops an EP or a mixtape before his album. I'm expecting the same kind of zone.
Yeah.
Um, but then it's like it's totally different. Then it'd be like this totally different vibe. Like on his album, he don't have no diss tracks. Um, he got subtle subliminals, or or in the case of KOD, where it was a story, and I ain't gonna go there. It's a I feel like he created. I think the concept behind KOD was great, but I think it was fault. I don't think he executed it well. Um, but I also think that he wanted to tell a story on our album, and it hit a little bit. It didn't hit as big as Good Kid, Mad City. It's like KOD is like a Big Mac, and Good Kid, Mad City is filet mignon Kobe beef. You know what I'm saying? If you know food, but I mean, but you know what though? The point I want to bring, another point I want to bring up is what you mentioned earlier is that you said the reception that Cole is going to get for this.
Yeah.
Why do you feel that way?
Um, he deserves this because he's done crazy great features over the last year and a half, and to have the opportunity to get the accolades that like I would say that J. Cole is the Nas of right now. Drake is the Jay Z. He's getting all the hits. Everybody likes the hits. He's selling product. He's winning in every way. J. Cole is sticking to his mainstream formula and he's trying to just keep trucking along. He's done some experimental stuff that didn't work out, just like Kev said about with the KOD. He's done something like the project now that gives you hope and inspiration. The features led up to this, and now with the layup that Kendrick gave him makes it even more impressive. That's why I think people are going to run to him because he's gonna. I just feel like that off season is coming this year, maybe fourth quarter this year, but I feel like it's coming. Whereas, like you said last week, Kendrick may not drop anything this year. He may do maybe one or two other features, but he may not drop this year. If he does, it's all the better for hip hop. But in general, I just don't know. I don't know if he's going to drop. And that's why I think the accolades are going to just skyrocket for Cole because he's consistent, he's getting better, and he's on, like you said, he's on Dreamville stuff showing love. He's on other people's projects being featured. How you gonna beat that? The pace. That takes me back to when Lil Wayne was doing his pace when he was featured on everybody's stuff. He was killing those features, and then he was putting out stuff that was quality. And that's when everybody started considering him one of the greatest rappers alive. So with that, you got to give Cole his accolades. That's just my thoughts. I think if you're objective to how this should work out, he deserves every accolade that we're willing to give him because he's put in the work.
I mean, but outside of the BET Awards, what other what other recognition is he going to receive though?
I think that as of right now, he's leading in next year's Grammys. This project puts him in the front runner for next year's Grammys.
I don't think so. I
You
think
don't?
outside of BT, he would get a lot of blogger awards. He's not gonna get any Billboard, no American Music Award. I the, the All Season has to be a phenomenal album. All season will get nominated for award, maybe if it's great, but I don't even think he'll get. I don't think he'll get nominated for a Grammy.
And after seeing, again, it depends on what happens with off season. But after seeing what happened with Killer Mike, it seems to me the Grammys are looking for artists to put it all out there. And I'm not saying he gave us everything in this project, but he sequenced it well. He did his, I would say he gave his best effort in the production of it. He used other producers. I mean, they're still out of his camp, but he did work with other producers, so that helps. I don't know. I'm not. I know he's definitely not going to get American Music Award or Billboard Award, but that Grammy, man, I don't know. I think that Grammy could, if he's not winning it, he's definitely getting nominated for it.
Killer Mike told you why he won the Grammy. He said it was
And I
the
think
50th anniversary of hip hop.
I know, but I think that Killer Mike also gave you the format. If you want your project to win, you got to go out there and campaign, just like it's you're running for public office. You got to go places.
I don't think no one else uh did the shows and set, did all the radio tours and um certain media obligations. Yeah, Travis Scott definitely didn't do it. And I don't even think he does it, interviews anyway. Plus, um I think so many people are still hung up on that music festival and blaming him when he really ain't have a lot to do with it, in my opinion. But who else was nominated? It's Killer Mike. Drake pulled his name out. I think Drake would have won if he'd have stayed in it. I think Drake pulled out this year, right? Or was that last year?
It was last year that he pulled out. He stayed
Right.
in this year, but I don't think he campaigned. I don't think.
Nah, it wasn't that. I think it was because him pulling out last year. That's why.
Oh, so they wanted
Drake's
to try to
I
get
think it was
him back.
Drake's beef with the Grammys. Kendrick Scott, I mean Travis Scott not doing a lot of interviews. Um and then the other two I don't even know. Like I don't even know the other two, but like you said, I'm
Metro
willing to bet you
Boomin and Metro Booming project, and the other one's escaping me. I'm with you though.
Metro Boomin does limited press anyway. I don't even think he does the Breakfast Club.
There you go.
Killer Mike does the Breakfast Club often. You 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 rarely, like I said, Travis Scott doesn't do a lot of media. Uh so you kind of hamper yourself. You hamper yourself with stuff like that. And I mean it's a we're in this age where people don't want to they're selective about some of the stuff they do. And oh excuse me. Um and it's like, so many people want they want that old school media. They want they want you to they want to feel like they're important. They want to feel like they're in on your level as that celebrity. So if you don't do a lot of media, even in 2024, it still hurts you, even though um we have this different mind state about who we are or how we want to be perceived. But media is so important. So um just doing, don't go to Vlad's show. Yeah, do the Breakfast Club, do Noriega's Drink Champs, because out of all those shows, Drink Champs is probably the safest major platform you can go to. Um, if you out there, you got to do something. Go to Drink Champs. Go to Drink Champs. Joe Button is you don't know what you're gonna get. Uh, DJ Vlad is like the damn police sometimes. So if you got skeletons in your closet, you damn sure don't want to go there. Um, Breakfast Club is getting better. I mean,
Yeah.
just overall, Charlemagne is not up to his antics, but um they'll ask some controversial questions because they still want to get their numbers up. So but you still gotta do media. You still gotta do media. Yeah, and I'm sitting here, I'm looking at it now. It was Nas, it was Drake and 21, Killer Mike, Metro Boomin, and Travis Scott. I mean, yeah, yeah, Killer. I mean, I think you're right. I think the media thing was something to do with it. Because none of those artists really do a lot of media. Is mainly, you know, script. They don't do a lot of videos. If anything, it's it's some a writer for a blog or magazine is writing it out. And in a lot of those cases, you as the artist have so much say so in what can go in or what should be taken out that it'll make you look good. But everybody don't want to see perfect people. They so many people want to know that you, or no matter on what level you are, you make mistakes just like they do. So yeah, Killer Mike being so open and honest and going to all these different platforms, I think that did. I mean, it helped, but I still think that the point he made about the significance of him winning in Hip Hop 50, I think that had more something to do with it than him campaigning. I went on a whole around thing.
I'm with you on that, Kev. Appreciate you, man. All right, so we're gonna slide into another topic for our talking hip hop, and you know, Kev brought to the table a very interesting question: should rappers have an age limit? I'm gonna start this one off just because I'm the elder statesman, and just say that what you've seen Nas do over his last six projects is proof that age doesn't have a problem. What you just saw from the Big Daddy Kane freestyle shows that there's no reason why age should be a problem. We're the only genre of music where age is an issue. Country still lets Dolly Parton, not lets, but country music, Dolly Parton still able to put out music. Billy Joel, Aerosmith, they're still able to put out music whenever they want to. Elton John, even though he's fully retired now, has put out music in his 70s. So, I don't see why we should be held to that. Cher is still out here doing her thing as well. And the better question for me, and I don't want to delve heavy into it, is should there be a separation of hip hop and rap? That to me seems more of a objective question than age, because Two Chains was an older rapper when he started. Jay was an older rapper when he started. So to me, age is just not a factor. I know that the young people now want to make people feel old if you're not in your 20s, but everybody's got to eat. And if people are gonna, you want people to listen to your music so you can eat, I'm saying do the same for the people who are a little bit older than you. Kev, your thoughts?
um, yeah, I mean, I can agree with everything you just said. But the last point you made about the youth of today, you know, they kind of lowered the standard of what's considered old. And so I have, younger kids, all early 20s or, teenager. And sometimes their perspective is, someone in their 30s is an older crowd. And it's kind of like, when I was, your age, I didn't think someone 32 or 33, even though that 10-year gap was that much older than me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But it is a different mentality today. And I think that's, and that's one of the reasons why I did bring it up, because um, we had the discussion on Killer Mike versus Travis Scott at this year's Grammys. We had a 30-year-old, just not, within the past month or so,
Yeah.
and we talked about that. Like he was, he had so much passion for Travis Scott. And it wasn't such a bad thing, but it was just, I think for us, us over 40s, we were just trying to figure out, why are you so passionate about this album? I'm like, okay, it's not a bad album, but like you're like, it resonates with you. You know what I mean? And I think that's why the debate did get so heated, because it was a thing of his passion versus us trying to understand. And I think that's where, the gap is at the moment, because even though Killer Mike won this Grammy, and maybe outside of the week or maybe two after that, it kind of died down. Now, granted, news today doesn't stay around that long, but um, when it's younger Grammy winners, it seemed like it gets a little bit more. They have some more legs with their win. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if the awards is in February, we're still talking about it in May. You know what I mean? And we barely, I don't even we wasn't that it wasn't that much time in February where Killer Mike winning was a thing. Like I said, I think it maybe that week, that week he won, and maybe the week after, you know what I mean? And it was just like that was it. Other artists do get a little more attention.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, we could say that's a media thing too, whereas we just said just the point we just made about um certain artists going to speak to the media. And yes, it does now it does seem like a lot of older artists don't want to speak to the media that much. Like, Nas, he ain't running to no Breakfast Club or nothing like that, because what for? He's at that point of his celebrity where he don't have to promote nothing. Um, but it is some. But you bring up Two Chains. That was an interesting artist to bring up, because Two Chains is an older artist. I think his oldest son could be anywhere from what between the age of 15 and 17, I believe. Um, so he almost has a college student, right? Or he at least has a high schooler. But he's over the age of 40, but he still makes today's music though. You know what I mean? Like, as far as his content, it doesn't sound old man esque. So, to kind of look at an older artist and be like, oh, you're old, you're whack, I'm not gonna listen to your stuff. That's what you'll find a lot of days. But you got an artist like Two Chains who Two Chains and Nas can't, I mean, maybe what, 5 years apart, maybe in age? And Two Chains still makes songs for today that are hits today. So, to say that, if you're an older artist, that you can't make today's music, that's not true at all. Just like BY said, you have a Two Chains that's in tune and making this great music. Kanye West is what? If he's not 45, he's close to it. He just had a number one album, you know what I mean? He changed the whole genre. So to kind of
Exactly.
dismiss older, huh?
I said exactly.
Yeah, to kind of dismiss older artists is a crazy point to have. And a lot of older people, 45 and above, will kind of look at that as being somewhat disrespectful, because they're gonna want to be heard, but at the same time they're gonna say give it a chance. Just like some of the young folks ask us to give it their music a chance, we're gonna say give ours a chance also, right? And yeah, it sucks though. It really sucks that we're still having these discussions within rap music. Um, when you hit a certain age, or your content kind of changes up to maybe go towards another audience, they're just dismissed. And it shouldn't be that way. It should be that way. It's just, if it's rap, it's rap across the board. If you like a certain type of rap, then listen to that. But at some point you're going to come back to it. You're going to reach that point of where you want to listen to a Nas or a Killer Mike or anything like that. So if you're not there yet, trust me, you'll be there.
That's what's up, Kev. Man, I appreciate it. Again, it's just not. It's a great question, but we need the younger people to think, think. You're not going to be young forever. So,
Right,
do
right.
you want that bag? Do you want to stop getting your bag because you're 30? Nobody wants to stop getting their bag because they 30. You got a long life ahead of you.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
uh we are going to give our our last thoughts on the overall situation with the diss because it's still fresh. And I just don't. I'm gonna say mine, and then we'll let Kev anchor this thing out of here. I just want to say again as we get out of here is that it was nice, but it wasn't something that. Let's keep it on wax. I'm gonna leave it at that. Kev, your last thoughts on the so-called diss or the response of J. Cole to Kendrick Lamar.
It was a good reply. I think it did exactly what he intended to do. He generated the attention for it. Um, it was good enough that it deserves a response. When that comes, who knows? But um, yeah, Jake. Like I said earlier, J Cole, he 10 up them. You know what I mean? He just 10 up them. I think he's so far ahead. He gave us this mixtape or whatever, and then he told you the album's coming. So it's kind of like 1, 2, and it's like a tidal wave, man. I think it's on point. It served its purpose. It's not a bad song. Um, I think the next time someone does a best of this, I think for the modern era, this could go up there as potentially being a top 10, potentially. But yeah, I'm still listening to it now, a few days later. So I must like it in some way.
I'm with you. I did listen to Future again, but definitely am rocking the Cole most of the time.
Yeah,
So with that, party people, we're gonna get out of here. Hope that you. I just like to say we're trying our best here. You know, you see, we're making improvements. We're trying to give you a better product. We're trying to curate we're trying to help parents curate their sound. Please check us out on our social media places. As you can see, we're Mix Era Rap on all platforms, and we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on X, Twitter, and we should be on Facebook within a little bit. We know that that particular platform is falling out of favor, but we will be on there as well. So again, man, we just need to keep your support, and we will keep doing this, man. Keep trying to give you a good product, and hope that you like it. And with that, we out of here. Peace.